There is a war that has been raging since antiquity. It is a war for our hearts and our minds, for our flesh, for our very souls, to bring all mankind under a one-world order. As George Washington put it, orchestrated by a small group of cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men who have subverted the power of the people and usurped for themselves the reins of government. They have put in the place of the delegated will of the nation the will of a small but artful and enterprising minority to make the public administration the mirror of their ill-concerted and incongruous projects of faction, rather than the organ of consistent and wholesome plans digested by common councils and modified by mutual interests. Legislated laws of men change with the times, serve agendas, serve governments, demoralize men, and are incapable of mercy, whereas God's laws are the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. They serve God, serve man, benefit both victim and wrongdoer, provides for repentance, considers mercy, builds morals, and saves souls. Whereas unchained legislated law serve the status quo and can never be just. In 1776, we the people served notice upon the world via the Declaration of Independence, where we covenanted with God and thereby founded ourselves under the laws of nature's God, where we the people were gifted with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, and that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to replace the God and restore the law of the land, thereby securing our safety and happiness. Abraham Lincoln said, "America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we fail and lose our freedom, it will be because we destroyed ourselves." The county sheriff is our last line of defense when it comes to upholding and defending the Constitution. The sheriff's duties and obligations go far beyond arresting criminals and operating jails. The sheriff also has an obligation to protect our unalienable rights secured by the Constitution. This includes the right of free speech, the right to assemble, and the right to bear arms. Today, liberty and our very way of life are under attack because we, the people, and our sheriffs are ignorant of the true law of the land and our history. We have lost our way. It's not until we start to read about what we have inherited from our founding fathers that we start to realize how far we have drifted from the blessings of liberty. But there is hope. There is a grassroots movement across America building committees of safety to restore our American way of life. And through this campaign for constitutional sheriffs, we will reach our more than 3,100 American county sheriffs and give them the power to take a stand for the people, restore our Constitution, and save America from self-destruction through ignorance. Sheriffs took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution from enemies both foreign and domestic. In the history of our world, it is the government tyranny that has violated the freedoms granted to us by our Creator more than any other, and it is the duty of the sheriff to protect their counties from those that would take away our freedoms, both foreign and domestic, whether it is a terrorist from Yemen or a bureaucrat from Washington, D.C. The principal challenges to the sheriffs are code enforcement officers. Statutes that control the behavior of the people are repugnant to the Constitution and are therefore null and void. The sheriff has a duty to uphold the Constitution. This poses a dilemma because the sheriff must obey the de jure United States Supreme Court rulings and the United States Constitution in order to uphold his oaths. He must first understand it. That is the purpose of our book, Government by Consent. The sheriff must have the fortitude to keep his oath and uphold the common law. If the sheriff is left ignorant to the law, he will betray his oath and thereby the people who have entrusted him as their constitutional law enforcer. The sheriff must uphold the common law above the will of the bar-driven legislators, judges, prosecutors, and their code enforcement officers, who are true believers in that statutes are above the Constitution. The treacherous bar schools have been teaching statutes as law for more than 50 years. If we fail to correct this error, America will be lost. Thomas Jefferson said, "If a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be." An enlightened citizenry is indispensable for the proper functioning of a republic. Self-government is not possible unless the citizens are educated sufficiently to enable them to exercise oversight. It is therefore imperative that the nation see to it that a suitable education be provided for all its citizens. Educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. Unfortunately, sheriffs are as ignorant to the Constitution as we the people are, because a government has failed to provide a proper education of the common law. If sheriffs don't know and understand the Constitution, how can they uphold it? We must endeavor to educate our sheriffs by providing a suitable education to our sheriffs and ourselves. We can accomplish this through this book, Government by Consent, which will arm them with the knowledge and the confidence to enforce the law of the land. Therefore, we need all that are hearing this message to join our campaign for constitutional sheriffs by getting a copy of our book, Government by Consent, into the hands of all 3,000 plus county sheriffs. Click on the link below this video to join our campaign for constitutional sheriffs. Or you can go to nationallibertyalliance.org and click on the link on our front page, Campaign for Constitutional Sheriffs.